curious push by the mayor of Lewiston, Maine, who wants to publish the names of everybody in that town who collects welfare. Right now, there are 500 families on that list, and he thinks it might help get some of them back on track.
This is something born out of frustration. For 3.5 years, I've been putting all kinds of welfare laws. I've been submitting them, and they're going, the legislature is just tanking them. This is what I'm going to do as long as I'm mayor, is to try to get some welfare reform up there.
Here for a fair and balanced debate, Rebecca Vallis from the Center for American Progress and Seton Motley, the president of the D.C.-based nonprofit Less Government. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Seton, you say that shame is a powerful motivator. What do you mean?
Well, we know it is because the left has warped and redirected it and wants to shame taxpayers for not paying enough taxes and for wanting to know what government money is being used to do. Bob Dole in his terrible '96 presidential campaign said we've lost shame as a motivating factor in our society. We have in the way he meant it. What we need to do is know government does a terrible job of tracking how they spend our money. If we publish the welfare recipients, we'll track it. We know there's widespread welfare abuse. Government doesn't seem to care to do anything about reining it in. If the American taxpayers paying the freight know who's getting welfare, they can keep a better eye on who's abusing the system, etc., and perhaps we can do some real serious welfare reform.
Okay, Rebecca, the key to what he just said were the people who are abusing the system. There are some people, we all know, abuse the system. They go on it for years. But there are others who, run into a tough spot and they might have to go on public assistance for a while. What's the matter with putting the list out there of the people who are winding up with money out of the taxpayer's pocket?
Thanks so much, Steve. So the real shame here is that our minimum wage in this country is a poverty wage. And the fact is, it's not enough anymore to lift a family of 3 out of poverty. We've got families across the United States who are working families who have to turn to public assistance like food stamps in order to keep food on the table. And so if we're serious about shrinking spending on public assistance, then what we really should be doing is raising the minimum wage. Raising the minimum wage to $12 an hour would actually save $53 billion in food stamps over the next 10 years. That's the way to get people off public assistance.
Seton, it sounds like she would like to see a list of the employers who are paying less than $15 an hour.
Well,
which is different than the list of people on welfare.
Yeah, once again, let's shame the people who are creating jobs rather than, shaming the people who are receiving welfare. And of course, she's got half the table right on raising the minimum wage. Of course, the number of people on assistance will explode because of all the jobs that will be killed as a result of the raising of the minimum wage. The problem is a family of 3 is not supposed to be living on a minimum wage. If you're making minimum wage, you shouldn't be having children and being on and trying to raise a family on it.
Okay. I'll give you the final word.
Well, the fact is we've actually got research finding that the cost of low wages in this country is $152 billion per year. That's taxpayers subsidizing low wages in the form of government assistance that people have to turn to. That's the real problem here. Let's raise the minimum wage.
Well, we've had 7 years of the Obama economy. I guess that ultimately is the reason people aren't making that much. Rebecca and Seton, thank you very much for joining us live today from our nation's capital.
Thanks so much, Steve.